announce we have Andrew Large, Director General of the CPI, to talk to us. He probably has the most difficult presentation of today because ahead of any government announcements, which may come later in the week or towards the end of the month, we're going to ask Andrew for his take on where we're getting to with Brexit. So over to you, Andrew, and good luck.
Thank you very much, Tim. I will just share my screen and we'll get started. So yes, thank you very much for the invitation. I think this is the third or fourth time, Tim, that I've spoken to an SPA conference. So I'm delighted to be here again, and thank you very much for the invitation. For those who haven't heard from me before, I've been Director General of the Confederation of Paper Industries since August 2016. Before that, I've been CEO of associations in the food and the hygiene sector. I've worked in industry for British Steel, and I'm also a former British civil servant and European Commission official. So I've had quite a lot of engagement over the years with the European infrastructure, and I hope that helps me shed some understanding on just exactly where things are going over the next few days. So, as Tim said, we're talking about Brexit, and clearly, while attention has been focused on coronavirus, and quite rightly too, with the very, very significant effects that's had on public health and the economy, Brexit has been ticking along in the background, and we have, perhaps as Sir Alex Ferguson might have put it, we've now got to squeaky bum time, by which I mean that the time period for events to transpire with regard to Brexit is getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Decisions are being concertinaed up, and as a result of that, it's becoming very challenging for both businesses and for the government to really take the right decisions that need to be taken in the right time frame to be good for the country as a whole. So, to give you an idea of just how truncated things are, we are today on the 12th of October. 15th of October is when the government has said that they will declare an end point to the negotiations that have been taking place. I understand that when Boris Johnson met Ursula von der Leyen from the European Commission about a week ago, there was some suggestion that those conversations might continue until the end of October, but we are getting very, very short when it comes to actually getting the deal ratified by both the UK, the European Parliament, and potentially, depending upon the nature of the agreement, all of the other 27 member states. 31st of December will come along, and at that point we will be right at the edge of the cliff edge. There is no possibility now of extension of the transitional period, and who knows whether on the 1st of January 2021 we will be able to accelerate away as an economy and a country, or whether Brexit, together with coronavirus and other issues, will lead to what has been spoken about a lot as falling off a cliff. So what I'd like to focus on today are three particular issues with regards to Brexit. The first is what it means to trade on World Trade Organization terms. The second is about the Irish border, and what exactly does the Irish border issue mean for us. And the third is the whole issue of transport into Kent. And it's that one that I'd like to start with first. People may have been hearing talk about Kermits, Kent entry permits, as they are becoming known. From the 1st of January 2021, a lorry will need a permit to enter Kent. Will need to have that permit so it can demonstrate that it is passed all of the necessary bureaucratic, regulatory and other procedures to be allowed onto cross-channel transport and to be accepted into the jurisdiction of the European Union. This is a very, very significant potential regulatory and bureaucratic load for hauliers across the UK. It's being done to prevent congestion at ports. It's being done to try and keep the cross-channel networks flowing, as opposed to things all being stopped up because there are thousands of lorries parked up that don't have the necessary regulatory permissions. but it will be a huge change in the way in which things operate in the UK. And I would strongly advise people to contact their hauliers and make sure that if they are engaged in any cross-channel freight, that they understand exactly what's going to be required in order to make sure that their shipments can proceed straight to the channel ports and straight across to customers in Europe, rather than being stuck in a queue waiting for the necessary permits while the goods are still on the back of the lorry. So that's the first area. Second issue is on WTO, and what would that mean if the UK were to trade with the European Union on WTO terms? Well, one of the things it would mean is that the UK global tariff imposes a tariff on UK starch imports of £187 a tonne. Now, that is something of the order of a 50 to 60% price rise in the cost of your starch if you're buying it from the EU, based on what I understand of current market prices for starch. This will only be introduced if there isn't a deal with the European Union, and clearly it's potentially devastating in competitiveness terms for box makers, corrugators here in the UK. So certainly one of CPI's key roles, we raised this up at ministerial level with BEIS, is to say, look, this is going to be a very substantial change in the competitive terms of corrugated box manufacturers in the UK. Is there anything that you can do about it? The answer we've got is come back and talk to us after October the 15th. So we have been in the process of marshalling our arguments, and we hope very much that there is a deal. And if there isn't a deal, we hope very much, and we expect that the government should be responsive to arguments from seriously competitive industries in the United Kingdom, like box manufacturing, saying, do not do anything unilaterally to damage the competitiveness of UK industry just at the time when you need that UK industry to be thriving and flourishing. So this is very much an ongoing issue that we are seeking to cover, and we will want to put more and more effort into this between now and the end of the year to alleviate and help businesses get over this hurdle, if this hurdle actually comes into existence. Last issue I wanted to touch on is the Irish border. I know a number of you trade across from Northern Ireland to the Irish Republic. Some of you trade also from GB to NI. There are going to be different customs treatments of goods depending upon whether the goods are dispatched from GB to NI for use in NI, or alternatively for moving forwarded on to the Irish Republic. That is going to potentially cause not just a tariff issue, but also potentially non-tariff barrier issues, depending upon what EU inspection regimes there might be in place. Because Northern Ireland will be in the European Union customs area, it also means that there will be exit declarations from Northern Ireland back to the UK, sorry, to GB, to Great Britain. So that means that there will also be a bureaucratic barrier to trade between Northern Ireland and Great Britain. You may have heard some conversations about the Internal Market Bill. The Internal Market Bill was designed to be a unilateral UK method of slicing through those difficulties. Of course, it's caused a lot of difficulties at European level, and indeed the Internal Market Bill might lead to the whole trade agreement not being signed, because the European Parliament has said if the Internal Market Bill is still in place, then the European Parliament will not ratify the Brexit trade agreement. So, where are we today? Short answer is, we don't know. And Boris Johnson doesn't know, Michel Barnier doesn't know, David Frost doesn't know, none of the principal actors know. There are so many moving parts with regard to the character of the agreement. All we can do is wait until we see some certainty, and then communicate and work with our business members, and indeed across the whole of industry, as rapidly as we can once we have that certainty, to know just exactly how we can help people for the best. We are now in the phase of political horse trading, and who knows what will then come out of that period of time. So my final slide, there is a roller coaster ride to come. We have no idea quite what the endpoint will be. If I could just flag up, Tim, we have a couple of seminars that CPI will be running, one on the 6th of November, one on the 2nd of December. We'll be getting speakers from the government to try and give us some latest updates at that point on some of the key issues, going into more detail on the things I've raised today and on a number of other issues that there hasn't been a chance to talk about today. And we'll be extending an invitation through Tim and the team at Sheep Plant Association for others to join and participate in those if you wish. So thank you all very much. Thank you for having me again to speak about this interminable issue at a Sheep Plant Association conference. And by all means, contact me via Tim if there are any issues that you would like to raise specifically. Thanks.
Andrew, thank you very much for that. Clearly trying to get some certainty is pretty much impossible at this moment in time. So watch this space, and I'm sure our members will take you up on your very kind offer to join your events coming up shortly. Well, thank you very much, Andrew. I do have a very